All right, in this explainer, we're going to break down one of the most important skills you can possibly learn on a job site, mastering dual-plane slope lasers. And look, this isn't just about some fancy piece of equipment, it's about leveling up your entire career. What we're diving into today is the key. It's the thing that unlocks bigger responsibilities, more complex projects, and frankly, makes your time a whole lot more valuable. So let's get right into it. So the first thing we have to get our heads around is a simple fact. The real world isn't flat, not even close. Every single job site is a puzzle, and that puzzle is usually all about one thing. Where is the water gonna go? Now this is a huge challenge, but it's also a massive opportunity for anyone who knows what they're doing. I mean, just look at these examples. A simple sidewalk, it often has to slope in two directions at once. A parking lot might have to slope towards a bunch of different drains. This isn't just simple one-way grading. Managing these compound slopes, that's where the real skill and the real money is made. So how do you solve this complex 3D puzzle? Well, you get a superpower. And that superpower comes in the form of the dual-plane slope laser. This is the tool that turns a complicated, frustrating process into something that's smooth, efficient, and dead-on accurate. Let's really break down the difference here. A regular rotating laser is kind of like a lighthouse, right? It just sends out a single, perfectly flat beam of light in a circle. Great for level pads. But a dual-plane laser? Whoa. It can actually tilt that entire plane of light in two directions at the exact same time. This is a total game changer. And here's how it actually works. You have one slope, which we call your running slope, going in one direction, and then a second slope, your crossfall, going in another. The laser is smart enough to combine these two, creating one single continuous, perfectly sloped surface of light. You set it up once, and that's it. You can grade the entire project area in one continuous shot. Think about that. No more moving stakes every 10 feet, no more constantly resetting your equipment. It is a massive, massive leap in efficiency. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, this sounds complicated. There's got to be a ton of math involved. But here's the secret. It all comes down to one incredibly simple rule. This isn't a math test. It's the key that makes all the complicated stuff really, really easy. And here it is, the magic formula. 1% of grade equals 1 centimeter of drop for every 1 meter of distance. That is it, seriously. If you can burn that one little fact into your brain, you can do almost all the job site math you need right in your head.
Okay, pop quiz. Let's put it to the test right now. You see the question on the screen? Think about that magic formula. How would you solve this?
Let's break it down. First step is easy. Just apply the rule. If a 1% slope is 1 centimeter per meter, then a 2% slope is, well, it's just 2 centimeters per meter. Simple enough, right?
Second step, we just do a little multiplication. We've got 18 meters of distance, and we're dropping 2 centimeters for each and every one of those meters. So that gives us a total drop of 36 centimeters.
And there it is, our answer, 36 centimeters. Now, if you followed that logic, if that just clicked for you, then congratulations. You now have the fundamental skill to calculate grade without ever pulling out a calculator on the job site. You can just do it. All right, let's get this out of theory and into the real world. Here's our mission. We're going to grade a totally typical sidewalk, a project that's going to force us to apply everything we've just learned about these dual slopes. So here are the specs. The sidewalk is 30 meters long, and we need a nice, gentle 0.5% running slope along its entire length. It also needs a 2% crossfall to make sure water drains away from the building. We've got our high point, and we've got our target low point. So how does our magic formula work here? Well, for the running slope, it's just 30 meters times 0.5 centimeter per meter. Boom! That's a 15 centimeter drop. For the crossfall, it's 1.5 meters wide times 2 centimeters per meter, which gives us a 3 centimeter drop. So what's the total drop at the lowest corner? We just add them together, 18 centimeters. See how fast that was? Now for the actual setup, it's really just a simple checklist. First, you get the tripod positioned and leveled, you power on the laser, then you just punch in the two slopes we figured out. Plane 1 at 0.5%, plane 2 at 2%, and finally, you set your receiver to your starting elevation at your high point, and you are ready to go. And this is the part that feels like magic. From that one setup, from that single reference point, your laser is now projecting a perfect sloped plane across the entire job. You are literally grading in 3 dimensions. So let's bring this all back home. Why does this matter so much? Because mastering this one skill fundamentally changes your role and your value on any job site. You're not just moving dirt anymore. You're shaping the world with precision. I mean, look at what we've just covered. You now get how slope percentages work. You can calculate drops in your head. You know the exact steps to set up a laser for a real-world project and grade a complex surface. This is the bedrock, the foundation for running your own jobs from start to finish. This skill makes you more efficient, which makes you more valuable. It allows you to become a leader, to actually train others on your crew. And it is the absolute key to having the confidence and the competence to run your own operation one day. Because when you can do this, you solve problems. You prevent expensive mistakes. You make sure the job is done right the first time, every time. And that is when you become the go-to operator, the person everyone wants and everyone needs on their job.